The day Earth learned it wasn't alone in the universe started like any other. The morning news talked about weather and sports, people rushed to work, and children played in parks. Nobody expected the massive silver ships that appeared in the skies above every major city on the planet. Tom Miller was just a regular soldier stationed at Fort Baker when the first reports came in. He stood with his fellow soldiers, watching the massive ships hover silently above San Francisco. The alien vessels stretched nearly 2 miles long, their metallic surfaces reflecting the morning sunlight like mirrors in the sky. "This is not a drill," came the announcement over the base speakers. "All personnel to battle stations." The world's governments tried to make contact with the visitors, broadcasting messages of peace in every language known to humanity. The aliens responded with silence for 3 days, making no moves either friendly or hostile. Just watching. Waiting. On the 4th day, they attacked. Green beams of energy rained down from the ships, targeting military installations first. The aliens clearly expected their advanced weapons to cut through Earth's defenses like butter. But something unexpected happened, something that would change the course of the war before it truly began. The laser weapons barely affected the human soldiers. Tom and his unit watched in amazement as the green beams struck their fellow soldiers. Instead of death and destruction, the troops reported only mild warming sensations, like standing in strong sunlight. The aliens' most powerful weapons, capable of cutting through steel and concrete, merely caused humans mild discomfort. Scientists would later discover the truth: human biology had evolved in a way completely foreign to the alien invaders. The water content in human cells, combined with millions of years of evolution under Earth's particular radiation conditions, had given humanity an unexpected defense against energy-based weapons. The aliens, who called themselves the Collective, had conquered hundreds of worlds with their advanced technology. They had never encountered a species with such natural resistance to their primary weapons. Their entire military strategy relied on quick subjugation through superior firepower. Now, for the first time in their history of conquest, they faced a species that simply wouldn't fall. The Collective's ground troops, expecting an easy victory, found themselves facing determined human resistance. Their energy rifles proved nearly useless against human soldiers, while Earth's primitive projectile weapons cut through the aliens' advanced armor with devastating effectiveness. Tom's unit was among the first to engage the alien ground forces when they landed near the Golden Gate Bridge. The aliens were tall, roughly humanoid creatures with metallic-looking skin and 4 arms. They moved with incredible speed and grace, but their confidence quickly turned to confusion when their weapons failed to stop the human defenders. "Keep pushing forward," Tom shouted to his unit as they advanced through the streets of San Francisco. The aliens retreated in disarray, unused to facing enemies who could withstand their primary weapons. Their entire battle doctrine, developed over centuries of successful conquests, fell apart in the face of humanity's unexpected resistance. The battle for San Francisco became a symbol of hope for humanity. Similar scenes played out across the globe as human forces pushed back against the invasion. The aliens' technological superiority meant little when their main weapons were ineffective against human physiology. Within a week, the Collective was forced to withdraw their ground forces. Their mighty ships remained in orbit, but their aura of invincibility was shattered. Humanity had not only survived first contact with an alien species, they had fought them to a standstill. As Tom helped secure the city in the aftermath of the battle, he couldn't help but smile at the irony. Humanity, often considered a young and primitive species by the Collective standards, had proven themselves to be something unprecedented in the galaxy, a species naturally immune to the most advanced weapons technology known to alien civilizations. The war was far from over. The Collective would return with new tactics and different weapons. But that first battle had proven something crucial: humans weren't just another species to be conquered. They were something the galaxy had never seen before, an unstoppable force that refused to bow to alien dominance. The stars would never look the same to humanity again. And the galaxy would never be the same after meeting the species that defied the impossible. 2 months after the failed invasion, humanity began to understand just how vast their advantage truly was. The collective's retreat had left behind damaged ships and weapons, giving Earth scientists precious alien technology to study. But more importantly, it had left behind prisoners, aliens who would help humanity understand their place in the galactic community. Tom, now promoted to captain after his actions during the San Francisco battle, found himself assigned to a new unit, the Alien Technology Integration Division. Their base, hidden in the Nevada desert, housed both captured alien tech and several cooperative collective defectors who had chosen to help humanity. One of these defectors, a high-ranking scientist who humans called Ray, his actual name being unpronounceable, revealed the truth about humanity's unique biology. Your species evolved on a world with significantly higher background radiation than most habitable planets, Ray explained through a translator. Your cellular structure adapted in ways our science never thought possible. The implications were staggering. Not only were humans resistant to energy weapons, but their bodies could also withstand radiation levels that would kill most alien species. What the collective had considered a primitive evolutionary path was actually an unprecedented adaptation that made humans uniquely suited for space warfare. But the collective wasn't done with Earth. Their massive ship still lurked at the edge of the solar system, and intercepted communications suggested they were developing new weapons specifically designed to counter human physiology. "They're scared," Ray told Tom during one of their strategy sessions. "In all their history of conquest, they've never encountered a species they couldn't quickly subjugate. Your existence challenges everything they believe about their superiority." Humanity didn't wait for the collective to strike again. Using the captured alien technology and knowledge from defectors like Ray, Earth's militaries began developing hybrid weapons and defenses. They combined human ingenuity with alien tech, creating something entirely new, weapons that could work against both species. Tom's unit tested these new developments. Traditional bullets enhanced with alien energy cores. Armor that could reflect both energy weapons and physical projectiles. Ships designed to accommodate human radiation resistance, allowing them to operate in conditions no alien could survive. "Your species thinks differently," Ray observed as he watched the human engineers work. "The collective builds everything based on centuries of established patterns. But humans, you look at our technology and immediately think of ways to use it differently." The breakthrough came when Tom's team discovered they could modify the collective's own energy weapons. By reversing the polarity of the beam generators, they created weapons that were harmless to humans but devastatingly effective against the collective's biology. "You've turned our greatest strength into our greatest weakness," Ray said, both impressed and disturbed by human innovation. "The very energy fields that power our civilization could become our undoing." As Earth prepared for the collective's return, a new message arrived from deep space. Other alien species, long oppressed by the collective, had heard about the human resistance. They saw hope in humanity's defiance. Secret communications arrived from dozens of worlds, offering alliance against their common oppressor. Tom stood in the command center, watching as diplomatic channels opened with these potential allies. The star map before him lit up with points of contact, other civilizations reaching out to the species that had done the impossible. "We're not just fighting for Earth anymore," he realized. "We're fighting for every species that's ever been bullied by the collective. And we have something they've never seen before, not just immunity to their weapons, but the ability to unite others against them." The galaxy was changing. Humanity, once thought to be a primitive species on a backwater planet, was becoming a symbol of resistance. The collective had meant to make an example of Earth. Instead, they had awakened a force they couldn't control, a species whose very biology defied their power, and whose spirit would inspire a revolution among the stars. As the sun set over the Nevada desert, Tom knew the real war was just beginning. But this time, humanity wouldn't be fighting alone. The first alien allies arrived 3 months later. Their ships were smaller than the Collective's massive vessels, but they brought something far more valuable than military might: knowledge. Representatives from 12 different species, each with their own history of resistance against the Collective, gathered at a secret facility beneath the Rocky Mountains. Tom and Ray led the briefing for Earth's military leaders. The room was filled with an extraordinary array of beings: crystalline creatures that floated in anti-gravity fields, reptilian warriors with scales that shifted colors like mood rings, and even gaseous entities contained within specialized environmental suits. "The Collective has ruled through fear for over 10,000 years, explained a crystalline being who called himself Stone. They attack quickly, establish dominance with their energy weapons, and force conquered species to join their empire. But humans have shown us that they aren't invincible." The Alliance shared crucial intelligence about the Collective's next planned attack. They were developing new weapons, chemical and biological agents designed specifically to target human physiology. But even these would prove more difficult than the Collective expected. "Your cellular adaptation to radiation has given you other advantages they don't understand," Ray revealed during the strategy session. "Your immune systems are remarkably robust. Your bodies can adapt to toxins that would devastate other species. Even your digestive systems are extraordinarily resilient." The implications became clear: humanity's primitive evolution on a challenging world had created a species uniquely suited to survive almost anything the galaxy could throw at them. What the Collective saw as weaknesses were actually incredible strengths. Working together, the Alliance began preparing Earth's defenses. Each species contributed their own technological specialties. The crystalline beings provided advanced shield technology. The reptilians shared their stealth systems. The gaseous entities taught humans about manipulating atmospheric conditions. Tom's unit focused on integrating these technologies with Earth's growing fleet of hybrid vessels. They converted captured Collective ships and built new ones, creating spacecraft that could operate in conditions no other species would dare attempt. Human crews could fly through radiation fields that would kill most aliens, survive atmospheric pressures that would crush others, and endure temperature extremes that would freeze or boil most species. "Your adaptability isn't just biological," observed Stone as he watched humans quickly master alien technology. "Your minds are equally flexible. You see possibilities where we see only established patterns." The first test of the Alliance came sooner than expected. A Collective scout fleet entered the solar system, probably expecting to find Earth still recovering from the first invasion. Instead, they encountered a combined fleet of human and alien vessels using technology they had never seen before. The battle was short but decisive. The scouts' energy weapons were useless against the human crews, while the modified hybrid weapons cut through their defenses. When the last scout ship tried to escape, it found itself trapped by atmospheric distortions created by the gaseous entities, then disabled by crystalline beam technology. "Send them back to the Collective," Tom suggested during the post-battle briefing. "Let them see what they're really facing now." The message was clear: humanity wasn't just fighting back, they were changing the rules of warfare in space. Their immunity to energy weapons had forced the Collective to face something they had never encountered before, a species that couldn't be conquered through their usual methods, now armed with technology from their former victims. But the real surprise came from the captured scout ship's data cores. The Collective wasn't just planning another attack on Earth, they were rushing to fortify their core worlds. For the first time in their history, they were afraid. Not just of humans, but of what humanity represented: hope for all the species they had oppressed. As Tom looked at the tactical displays showing the Alliance fleet's victory, he realized that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their immunity to laser weapons or their technological adaptations. It was their ability to unite different species in a common cause, to show the galaxy that resistance wasn't futile, it was inevitable. The next phase of the war was about to begin, and this time, humanity would be taking the fight to the collective's doorstep. The first strike against a collective core world was planned for what would have been a mild spring morning on Earth. Tom stood on the bridge of the Alliance flagship, Defiance, a hybrid vessel that combined human durability with the best technology from all allied species. Through the view screen, he could see hundreds of ships gathering, the largest fleet ever assembled against the collective. Target confirmed, reported Stone from his crystalline control station. The collective manufacturing world of Legacy Prime. Their largest weapons production facility in this sector of space. The intelligence provided by Ray had been invaluable. Legacy Prime wasn't just a manufacturing center, it was a symbol of collective power. No enemy had ever successfully attacked a core world in their 10,000 years of dominance. They believed their energy weapon defenses made their important worlds impregnable. "They're about to learn otherwise," Tom said, checking the final battle preparations. The human crews were suited up in their radiation-resistant armor, ready to operate in conditions that would kill any collective defender. The Alliance fleet had been practicing this attack for weeks, perfecting their coordination. "Multiple defense platforms detected," announced one of the gaseous beings, its words translated through the ship's communications system. "Energy weapon grid at full power. They're expecting a traditional assault." That was exactly what the Alliance was counting on. The collective had built their entire defense doctrine around their superior energy weapons. They hadn't adapted to the reality that their primary weapon system was now effectively useless against their most dangerous enemy. The attack began with a massive burst of radiation from the human ships, a level that would have killed most species but was perfectly safe for the Earth crews. The radiation scrambled the collective's sensitive detection systems, creating gaps in their defensive screen. Through these gaps, the Alliance fleet struck. Human ships led the charge, absorbing the desperate energy weapon fire from the defense platforms with minimal effect. Behind them came the specialized vessels of their allies, crystalline ships that refracted and redirected the collective's own energy weapons back at them, gaseous entity vessels that created atmospheric disturbances to disrupt their targeting systems. "Their orbital defenses are in chaos," Ray reported from his station, where he coordinated the attack patterns. "They never conceived of an attack like this. Their response protocols are falling apart." The battle for Legacy Prime's orbital space was fierce but one-sided. The collective defenders found their strongest weapons useless against the human ships, while the Alliance's hybrid technology tore through their defenses. Within hours, the orbital platforms were either destroyed or captured. But the ground battle would be different. The collective had learned from their mistakes on Earth. They had developed new weapons, physical projectiles, chemical agents, and biological weapons. They wouldn't make the mistake of relying solely on energy weapons again. "This is what we planned for," Tom reminded the fleet commanders during their final briefing. "Every species in this alliance has something unique to contribute. Together, we're stronger than any single technology or defense." The ground assault began at dawn, local time. Human shock troops led the way, their enhanced immune systems and radiation resistance allowing them to advance through zones that would have killed any other species. Behind them came waves of specialized forces, crystalline beings that could redirect energy, reptilian warriors with their advanced stealth technology, gaseous entities that could infiltrate and disable enemy installations. The collective's new weapons proved formidable but not decisive. Human adaptability, combined with Alliance technology, allowed them to overcome each new threat. When chemical weapons were deployed, the gaseous entities neutralized them. When biological agents were released, human immune systems and crystalline purification technology rendered them harmless. By nightfall, the main manufacturing complexes had fallen. The Alliance's hybrid forces had achieved what no one had thought possible. They had successfully attacked and captured a collective core world. As Tom stood in the captured command center, watching Alliance forces secure the planet, he received an urgent message from Earth. The data cores they'd captured contained critical information about the collective's leadership and their most closely guarded secrets. Information that would change the course of the war. The real fight for the galaxy's future was about to begin. The captured data cores from Legacy Prime revealed a truth that shook the entire Alliance. In a secure chamber deep beneath the Rocky Mountains facility, Tom and representatives from each allied species gathered to hear Ray's analysis of the recovered information. "The collective isn't what we thought it was," Ray began, his normally steady voice trembling. "They're not the original masters of their empire. They're servants of something far older, something they call the Architects." The holographic displays showed ancient star maps and records dating back tens of thousands of years. The Architects, it seemed, were an ancient species that had achieved mastery over energy-based technology long ago. They had created the collective to be their perfect servants, engineering them to be completely dependent on energy technology. The Architects designed the collective to conquer the galaxy using energy weapons, Stone added, his crystalline form pulsing with agitation. They wanted every species to become dependent on their technology. It was a form of control, making the entire galaxy reliant on systems they designed. But humans had accidentally broken this plan. Earth's natural radiation and humanity's unique evolution had created the one thing the Architects hadn't planned for, a species naturally immune to their primary means of control. That's why they attacked Earth so quickly, Tom realized. We weren't just a threat to the collective. We were a threat to the Architects' entire system of control. The data revealed more. The Architects hadn't been seen in thousands of years, but they left behind automated systems and strict protocols that the collective religiously followed. Their empire was built on technological dependency, with energy weapons being just one part of a larger system of control. "Look at this," one of the reptilian commanders said, pointing to a sector of space marked in warning colors. "The Architects' home system. It's been sealed off for millennia. No collective ship has ever been allowed to enter." The Alliance now faced a choice. They could continue fighting the collective, pushing them back system by system. Or they could strike at the heart of the problem, the mysterious home system of the Architects themselves. The Architects designed their defenses assuming every species would be vulnerable to their energy technology, Ray explained. They never imagined a species like humans could exist. Your immunity to their weapons might be the key to finally breaking their control. Analysis of the data showed that the Architects' home system was protected by the most powerful energy weapon grid ever created. It would destroy any normal ship that approached. But human vessels, with their unique resistance, might be able to breach these defenses. "We need to know the truth," Tom argued during the strategy session. "Are the Architects still out there? Are they planning to return? The galaxy will never be truly free until we know." The Alliance Council debated for hours. This was more than just a military decision, it was about the future of all spacefaring species. The Architects' system of control had shaped galactic development for thousands of years, steering every species toward dependency on their technology. "Humanity isn't just immune to their weapons," Stone observed. "You're immune to their control. Your technology developed independently, following a different path. That's what makes you so dangerous to their system." The decision was made. The Alliance would split their forces. One fleet would continue the campaign against the collective, while a special task force led by human ships would attempt to breach the Architects' home system. As Tom prepared the Defiance for what might be their most dangerous mission yet, he couldn't help but appreciate the irony. Humanity, once considered primitive for their resilience to radiation and energy weapons, might be the only species capable of uncovering the galaxy's greatest mystery. The coordinates were set. The human-led fleet would depart in 12 hours. The journey to the Architects' home system would take weeks, but the answers they sought could change everything they thought they knew about the galaxy's history. The journey to the Architects' home system took 23 days. Tom stood watch on the Defiance's bridge as their fleet of 30 ships, mostly crewed by humans with essential alien specialists, approached the outer boundary of forbidden space. The star ahead burned an unnatural purple, its light distorted by layers of energy fields that had protected this system for millennia. "Energy readings are off the charts," reported Ray from his science station. "The entire system is encased in overlapping fields of force. Any normal ship would be torn apart instantly." They watched as their probe, launched ahead of the fleet, entered the outer edge of the energy field. The small device, built with conventional alien technology, disintegrated in seconds. But the readings it sent back in those brief moments were fascinating. "The energy signature," Stone said, his crystalline form glowing with excitement. "It's different from anything the collective uses. More refined. More pure." The human fleet pressed forward. As they entered the outer energy field, the ships' hulls creaked and their radiation sensors screamed warnings, but the human crews remained unaffected. Their natural immunity, combined with their enhanced ships, allowed them to push through barriers that had kept the galaxy at bay for thousands of years. "Multiple structures detected," announced the sensor officer. "Massive installations orbiting the third planet. They're active but, there are no life signs." As they pushed deeper into the system, they encountered automated defense platforms larger than cities. These ancient sentinels activated at their approach, firing energy weapons of unprecedented power. But like the collective's weapons, they proved ineffective against the human ships. "Look at these readings," Ray said in awe. "These platforms have been operating continuously for over 50,000 years. The amount of power they're generating, it's beyond anything we thought possible." The fleet approached the third planet, a world covered in metallic structures that gleamed under its purple sun. There were no cities as any species would recognize them, just vast complexes of machinery, all interconnected, all humming with power. "We're receiving a transmission," the communications officer reported suddenly. "It's some kind of automated message. Very old protocol." The message displayed in multiple languages, each one translating into a simple command: approach and receive revelation. Tom ordered the fleet into orbit around the mechanical world. Surface scans revealed a massive complex at the planet's equator, its entrance sized perfectly for their ships. It was as if it had been waiting for them. "This has to be a trap," one of the reptilian advisors warned. "The architects would never leave their secrets unguarded." "They did guard them," Tom replied. "With energy weapons and barriers that no species was supposed to be able to bypass. They never planned for a species like us." The Defiance landed at the designated complex, accompanied by 2 other ships. As the airlocks opened, their sensors detected a breathable atmosphere, maintained perfectly for 50,000 years by automated systems that never failed. Inside, they found not a military installation or weapon facility, but something far more surprising: a vast library. Holographic displays activated at their approach, showing the history of the architects in stunning detail. "They didn't disappear," Ray whispered as he translated the ancient data. "They evolved. The architects found a way to transform themselves into pure energy, ascending to another plane of existence. But before they left, they created the collective to maintain their technology, to guide the galaxy's development along a path they chose." The truth was both simpler and more profound than anyone had imagined. The architects hadn't been trying to enslave the galaxy, they had been trying to prepare it. All their technology, all their control systems, were designed to guide species toward the same transformation they had achieved. But they never considered alternative paths of evolution, Tom realized. They couldn't imagine a species developing differently than they had. Couldn't imagine humans. As they delved deeper into the library's secrets, they discovered something that would change everything. The architects had left behind more than just their history. They had left behind their most important discovery, the key to their transformation. The question now was, what would humanity do with this knowledge? The choice humanity faced would determine not just their own future, but the destiny of all spacefaring species. In the Great Hall of the Architect's Library, Tom and his crew studied the transformation technology that had allowed an ancient race to transcend their physical form and become pure energy. "We could do it," Ray said, examining the detailed instructions left behind. "The Architect's ascension technology is still functional. Humanity could follow their path, become beings of pure energy." But Stone's crystalline form flickered with concern. "Isn't that exactly what the Architects expected? Every species following their predetermined path?" The debate raged not just among the expedition team, but across human space as the discovery was shared. The Architect's path offered incredible power and knowledge. The ability to exist as pure energy, free from physical limitations, was tempting. Many argued it was the next logical step in evolution. Tom spent hours in the library, reading the Architect's own accounts of their transformation. Something about their story bothered him, a pattern he couldn't quite grasp until he found their earliest records. "Look at this," he called to the others. The Architect's original form, they were vulnerable to their own world's radiation. They developed energy technology as a way to survive, to shield themselves. Their entire civilization was built around controlling and manipulating energy because they feared it. The realization hit him. Their ascension wasn't evolution, it was escape. They transformed themselves into pure energy because they couldn't adapt to exist in the physical world. And they tried to push every other species down the same path. The humans gathered in the Great Hall, broadcasting their discussion to Earth and their allies. Humanity stood at a crossroads. They could follow the Architect's path, transform themselves into energy beings, and gain unimaginable power. Or they could choose something unprecedented. "We're different," Tom addressed the gathering. "We didn't develop technology to escape our world's challenges, we adapted to face them. Our strength isn't in transcending physical form, but in changing to meet each new challenge. That's what makes us unique in the galaxy." The decision was made not in a single moment, but through countless discussions across human space and with their allies. In the end, humanity chose their own path. Instead of using the Architect's transformation technology, they would share their gift for adaptation with the galaxy. The collective, learning the truth about their creators, began to change. Without the Architect's strict protocols controlling their development, they too could adapt and grow in new ways. The alliance expanded, transforming from a military partnership into a federation of species working together, each contributing their unique strengths. Humanity's immunity to energy weapons had started as a quirk of evolution, but it led to something far greater, proof that there were many paths to advancement, not just the single road the Architects had tried to enforce. The Architect's library wasn't sealed away or destroyed. Instead, it was transformed into a center of learning where species could study both the ancient energy beings' wisdom and their mistakes. The purple star became a symbol not of forbidden knowledge, but of freedom to choose one's own path. Years later, Tom stood on the observation deck of the new Alliance Academy, built near the original library. Below him, students from hundreds of species learned and worked together. Some studied the Architect's energy technology, others focused on biological adaptation, and still others explored entirely new sciences. "We never found out if the Architects still exist somewhere as energy beings," Ray said, joining him at the window. "Maybe someday they'll return and find how much the galaxy has changed." "If they do," Tom replied, watching a group of new cadets, human, collective, crystalline, and a dozen other species, entering the academy together, they'll find something better than a galaxy of followers. They'll find a galaxy of innovators. The descendants of the species that had been immune to laser weapons had helped create something unprecedented, a galaxy where strength came not from transcending physical form, but from embracing the infinite possibilities of adaptation and change. The future was no longer a predetermined path, but an open frontier where every species could find their own way to the stars.